Hi everyone, welcome to Monday. Here is maths for today. Now this is for year 5 and we're going to be using our Power Maths books. Well, I've made the worksheets ready for you from the books today. I'm going to be showing you a little bit of an introduction now so you know what you're going to do. So I'm just going to share my screen. So I'm going to just disappear in a minute and go very small. Ready? Here I go. Okay, so I'm just going to pull up my PowerPoint. My slideshow on. Okay, so you should still be able to see me at the top of your screen. So this week our focus is multiplying and dividing decimals by 10, 100 and 1000. Now this PowerPoint is just to show you the work for today and for Tuesday, and then I shall put another one up on Wednesday to show you the rest of the week. So today we're starting by multiplying decimals by 10. Now you can see there's a picture of like a classroom. This is our Discover part. We haven't done this for ages from our Power Maths. And you can see there's 2 tables in the classroom. You can see Kate and Richard on one and Rena and Aki on the other. Now Kate and Richard, they're looking at multiplying 0.1 by 10. And Rena and Aki are looking at multiplying 0.11 by 10. Now Aki seems to think that the answer for that one is 0.110, as you just need to add a 0. And that's the answer. Do you agree? What do you think? Let's find out. Let's look at Kate and Richard's first of all. So they're doing together, 0.1 times by 10. And they've used counters in a place value grid. Now, when I first saw this, I was a bit confused. I thought, oh, well, hold on a minute. Why have they put 10 counters in the tenths column? And that's because that's part of their working out. So they would have started off with 0.1 in their 1/10 they had. Now, because they've times it by 10, it's got 10 times bigger, they've exchanged that for 10 0.1s, which is the same as saying 1 whole. So everything's moved. So 0.1, if you're timesing by 10, everything's moving one place larger. So if I like this little diagram here, I think this is a little bit easier. Here is our 0.1, there's 1/10. Now when you're multiplying by 10, everything moves one place larger. So the 1/10 is now jumping around the decimal point and moving into the ones column. So 0.1 times 10 is the same as 1. Now Aki and Rena, they got a little bit confused. They've done 0.11 times 10, and Aki thought, oh, I can just add a 0 on the end. Remember what we've said about this in class, we can't just add a 0. It's confusing because sometimes when you multiply a whole number by 10, it looks like you're just sticking a 0 on the end, but it doesn't work with decimal numbers. And this is why, because if we just put a 0 on the end of 0.11, it's just the same number, nothing's actually changed. So actually, by timesing by 10, everything has to jump one place larger. And so the 1/10, again, like in the previous one, the 1/10 is going to jump from the tenths column here into the ones. The 100th is jumping into the tenths column here. And so our final answer actually is 1.1 because everything has moved one place larger. So here are some examples. So we've got A, 0.14 times 10. Can you have a go at this one? Let's have a think. Now, we've got 1/10 400ths. Now, again, they've shown the exchange happening by multiplying that by 10. So 1/10 times by 10 is the same as 1 whole because it jumps into one column. 400ths times 10 jumps into the tenths column and becomes the same as 4/10. Therefore, 0.14 times 10 is the same as 1.4. In this case, we've got 2 units, so we've got 2.3 and 3/10. Now, if we times 2 units by 10, it jumps one place larger into the tens column, so it's exchanged by 2 tens, and the 3/10 jumps into the ones column, and so is exchanged by 3 ones. And so here, our answer becomes 2.3 times 10 is the same as 23. Did you get it? Let's have a look at some here. Now this is, I think, I'm just going to move my head out of the way here because I think I'm actually a little bit in the way. Let me just see if I can move myself down. There we go. So let's have a look here at number 2. We've got 3.7, and again we want to multiply by 10. So let's remember, for timesing by 10, everything's jumping one place higher into a higher column because it's getting 10 times bigger. Always think it's striving for the bigger columns. So 3 ones is going to jump into the tens, 7/10 is going to jump into the ones. And so we've got 3.7 times 10. The answer is 37. Over this side, we've got 2.39. Don't be alarmed if there's more digits in there. If you've got hundredths added on, it's the same rules. Timesing by 10, everything's moving one place larger, jumping higher into the next column along. So the 2 ones is going to go into the 2 tens. The 3 tenths will jump into the ones, and the 9 hundredths will jump into the tenths. The 2.39 times by 10 is, the answer is 23.9. Okay, does that make sense? I hope so. Now, this is what your work's going to look like today. I've actually sent your work in one document for all 5 days. So look really carefully for the date at the top of your work. I've highlighted it. Now, each day has got 2 pages to it. And you'll see this might be familiar because this is all from your Power Maths books. And so it goes through in a similar way, question 1, 2, 3, 4. And then once you get on to question 5, after that 5 and 6 question, you've got the challenge, and then you've got the reflect at the end. Now, work through as much as you can in your allocated maths time. If you've done a little bit of fluency, you maybe been on TT Rockstars, you might want to do half an hour, 40 minutes of some maths on here. If you don't get it all finished, it's fine, it doesn't matter. And if you get stuck, please remember to send me a email because I can help you out a little bit. So this is your work for Monday. So you might want to pause the video now and crack on with this. If you're here on Tuesday, let's keep going. So Tuesday, good morning if you're here for Tuesday. Today we're multiplying, like yesterday, decimal numbers, but this time by 10, 100 and 1,000. Ooh, so a little bit different. Let's go back to yesterday. What did we learn? We learned if we times the number by 10, then everything had to get 10 times bigger. And to do that, it would move one place into the larger column. Okay, so if I'm thinking here, I'm the decimal point, and this is my tenths column, and this is my ones column, everything's moving this way bigger every time you times by 10. So let's look at this think together, because I put at the top, what do you think will change when you times by 100 or 1,000? Are we still going to just move one place, or do you think something else is going to happen? This is where we need to have a conversation so you can tell me what you think. Anyway, 3.7. First of all, let's look at the first question. See if I can find my mouse so I can point. Here we are. So 3.7 times 10. This is what we did yesterday. Everything's got to move one place. So the 3 ones is going to go into the tens column. The 7 tenths is going into the ones. So our answer is going to be 37. Did we all get it? Hope so. Now, what's changing with 100? Now, if you're in my maths group, we've talked a little bit about this before. Now, I've always thought, well, if you're timesing by 10, 10 has got 1 0. So if you're timesing by 10, you jump one place higher. Now, 100 has got 2 zeros. So if you're timesing by 100, everything has got to jump 2 places higher. So let's have a look at that in here. So 3 ones, 2 place jump goes into the hundreds. The 7 tenths, a 2 place jump goes into the tens. So actually our 37 is jumping another place forward, but that leaves a gap by our ones. Now this is where we have a placeholder, because we can never leave a gap this side of the decimal point. Over this side, that's okay, but on the other side, no. So it becomes 370, and I've put, you see I've popped in there a placeholder into the ones column because there aren't any digits that can go in there. Oh, sorry, I've just flicked forward. Now, when I'm timesing by 1,000, so timesing by 10, I jump one place. Timesing by 100, I jump 2 places. But you can guess what's coming up. Timesing by 1,000, it's got 3 zeros, so I'm going to jump 3 spaces larger. So, sorry, not spaces, places larger. So the 3 ones is going to jump into the thousands, the 7 tenths into the hundreds, and then we've got a space for 2 placeholders, so it becomes 3,700. Now your work for today looks like this. And like yesterday, it's working through, but it's going to be mixing it up. So be a little bit careful, because you will find, and you can see that as you go down, sometimes that this is very times by 10, times by 100, times by 1,000. But once you get to question 2, mixing them around a bit. So look really carefully to what you are multiplying by. And please, I really encourage you to draw yourself a grid to help with this. So if you're finding it, some people can do it in their heads, and you'll find that the more you do this, the more you'll be able to move those digits along. If you're struggling a bit with that, draw yourself a thousands, hundreds, tenths, ones, decimal place, tenths, hundreds grid, and that can really help you. Okay, I'm just going to go back to my full size. There we are, back again. So I am going to stop recording now and stop my video for you, and I'm going to put another video up tomorrow for Wednesday and Thursday's work. So I thought otherwise it would just be too long. So I hope you get on okay. If you have any problems with the work at all, please send me an email. I'm going to be popping up the answers soon as well for Monday and Tuesday. I'm just deciding whether to email them or put them onto YouTube, but I'll let you know. All right, so good luck, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye.